Hello and welcome to lesson 4 of the A2 level of English. My name is Natalie Gorman and I am here with Perfectly Spoken to do lesson 4. And today's lesson we talk about sport and entertainment. So let's get started. Okay, so here are the topics we're going to cover in this lesson. Okay, so sports vocabulary, verbs related to sport, for example, go, play and do, entertainment vocabulary, and like plus ing. We'll talk a bit about that as well. Okay. So, are you ready? I hope you have your notebook and your pen so that you can write things down if necessary. Okay, and let's get started. Okay, can you name these activities? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so what are these activities? The first activity is running. The next one, judo. Looks like karate, but it's not, it's judo. This one, this looks fantastic. Kite surfing. So like surfing, but with a kite. Fantastic. Okay, and the next one. This is skiing. Notice it has I. It is the only word in English where you have two I's together. Skiing. You can hear it in the pronunciation too. Skiing. Okay, and then the last one, swimming. Okay, let's look at some more. Can you name these activities? Okay, now the first one, ballet. Notice the pronunciation. We don't say ballet, we say ballet. Why? It's because this is a French word, and in French you don't pronounce the last letter. So in English, because we adopted this word from French, then we don't pronounce the T, ballet. Okay. The next one, hip hop. This is very popular in Europe at the moment. For example, here in Spain, a lot of teenagers, children, they do classes, hip hop classes. It's very, very popular. Is it popular in your country? This one's snowboarding. Wow. Snowboarding. That looks fantastic and difficult. Can you snowboard? I can't. Okay, and here we've got rollerblading or skating. Here in this picture, you can see the people are actually using rollerblades. Now, rollerblades are the ones where the wheels go in a line. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are called rollerblades. So we say for the activity rollerblading. We also have the other word skating, which is more general. Okay, and then in this last picture here we have climbing, climbing. Notice that in this word we have a silent letter. So it's not climbing. No, the B sound is silent. So it's climbing, not climbing, no, climbing. We have the diphthong climbing, climbing. And look at this photograph. Wow, this is a little girl and she's climbing. Wow, fantastic. Okay, and more activities. Okay, so this first one, the man and the little boy, what are they doing? They are fishing. Oh, looks very relaxing. And this is hiking or walking. So it's when you go for a long walk of like 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours or 2 days, or so you go walking for a long time, usually in the mountains or the countryside. That's hiking. Okay, and this last picture, a sport popular in Britain and in well, in England more, I think, actually. In England and in India and in Australia, I think. What is this sport? Yes, it's cricket. I have a secret. I don't understand cricket. For me, cricket is a mystery. I don't understand it. I've never played it and I've never watched it because I don't understand it. I have friends that watch the cricket, but me, no. For me, cricket is a mystery. Anyway, okay. So, here we have other sports. So, and we're going to start talking about verbs used with sport, okay? So, for example, we've got here, play ice hockey, play tennis, play American football, play football or soccer. Football is the word we use in British English, and soccer is the word that is used in American English. Okay, but it's the same thing. 11 players, 2 teams. You have to try and score a goal. It's a very, very popular sport, especially here in Barcelona, because we have the famous Barcelona football team. Okay, and last one, baseball. This is an American sport, and I know it's very, very popular in the United States. In England, we don't play baseball, obviously, because we have cricket. Okay, all right. So now we're going to talk about the verbs we use. Maybe you've heard that with different sports we use different verbs. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got play. We play football, we play tennis, we play hockey, we play basketball, we play volleyball, we play handball. Okay, and what is the thing all these sports have in common? Yes, that's it. They all use a ball. Okay, so in football you use a ball, in tennis you use a ball, in hockey you use a ball, in cricket you use a ball, in basketball obviously you use a ball. So all of them you use a ball. So in sports where we use a ball, we use the verb play. So for example, I play football on Saturdays. My mum plays tennis on Fridays. I can't play handball. A lot of people in India play cricket. Okay, so there is just one exception, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, next. Where do you do these sports? Excuse me. So, we play football on a pitch, tennis on a court, hockey on a field, cricket on a field, basketball on a court, volleyball on a court, and handball on a court. So we have football and pitch, which is specific to football, and then court is generally an enclosed kind of space. It's an enclosed space, it's not an open space. So we use the word court for those sports. Okay, and then now we're going to look at the sporting activities we use with go. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, we've got, oh, wait a minute. We've got skiing, running, hiking, cycling. Cycling is on your bicycle. Snowboarding, kite surfing, and bowling. Okay, so with all these activities, we use the verb go. The exception is that bowling, we talk about it as an activity. So even though we use a bowling ball, where you stick your fingers, you throw it like that, we use the verb go, even though you use a ball. So it is the exception. Okay, we like exceptions in English. We do. It's true. Okay, all right. And so here you see, why do we use go? Well, it's the sporting activities we use with ing. So skiing, running, hiking, cycling, snowboarding, kite surfing, bowling. And so we like to use the verb go. For example, in January, I usually go skiing with my son. I never, ever go running. I hate running. Oof, it's like a torture. I do not like running. Okay. And for example, kite surfing. I go kite surfing in the summer. Actually, I don't go kite surfing, no. Okay, all right. So now, where do we do these sports? Where do these sports take place? Where do we do them? Let's have a look. Okay. So, skiing you do on a piste or on a slope. Slope is the individual piste. So for example, skiing you usually have green, we also say runs. Yeah, so a green run or a green slope or a green piste. Green is the easy, then you have blue and red and black. And where do you do skiing in general? You go skiing at a ski resort, okay? So you go skiing at a ski resort, for example, in the mountains. A lot of people go skiing in France. A lot of people go skiing in Italy, and in England, no, we don't go skiing in England. Why? Because we don't have big mountains. In Scotland, yes, I think you can go skiing in Scotland, and I think you can go skiing in the Lebanon, which I was quite surprised. I didn't know that. Okay, so you can go skiing in areas where there's snow. Okay, and go running. Well, running, you can go running anywhere. In the park, on the beach, in the city. And hiking, you usually go hiking in the mountains. And cycling, on your bicycle, again, you can go cycling anywhere. And snowboarding, obviously, you go snowboarding in the mountains, or you go snowboarding at a ski resort in general. And kite surfing, obviously, you go at the beach or in the sea. And bowling, you go bowling at a bowling alley. So the place where you go bowling is called a bowling alley. Okay. Oof, that's a lot of information. But don't worry, we will do some practice during this lesson, and also in lesson 5 we are going to do a review of lesson 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so don't worry. And remember, you can write things down in your notebook. It's a very good idea. Okay, now we are going to look at do, the last verb that I've used to talk about sport. So we've got, for example, do judo, do hip hop, do ballet, do yoga, do Zumba, do karate. Okay, so basically any sporting activity that isn't with a ball and we don't use with an ing form, we say do. Okay, so it's really not too difficult. You just have to remember, if it's not with a ball and it's not with an ing form, we use do. Okay. Now, in this section of the lesson, we are going to talk about other entertainment activities. So obviously, in your free time, you can do sport, or you can do other entertainment activities. Okay, so here in this section, we'll look at different and very common entertainment activities that most people do. Okay, so let's have a look. All right, here we go. We've got to go for a walk, or to go for a picnic, to have a picnic. So the first one, to go for a walk. What's the difference between to go for a walk and to go hiking? Well, to go for a walk is just like a general, maybe you have half an hour free and you just go for a walk around the city. It's not like hiking where you're actually walking for a long, long time. Okay, so it's just go for a walk. Okay, and the other thing is to go for a picnic or to have a picnic. So you can go for a picnic in the mountains or you can have a picnic in the park. They're both the same. Okay. Okay, now we'll look at some more entertainment activities. There we are. We have to go to the cinema or to go shopping. So, for example, I go to the cinema on Sunday afternoons. Or I go shopping every Saturday morning, maybe. So these are entertainment activities. I know you can go shopping as a routine. For example, you can go to the supermarket, but to go shopping is actually to go as an activity. Here you can see in this picture, this two people, they're very happy with their bags. Okay, and then to go to the cinema, I like going to the cinema. I don't go to the cinema very often, but I really like it. I love the experience of sitting in the cinema with the dark and all the noise. Oh, it's fantastic. Okay, other activities are you've got to go for a drink or to go for a coffee. To go for a drink or to go for a coffee. Now in English, British English, when we say to go for a drink, we usually understand that that is to go for some kind of alcoholic drink. So like in a pub or a bar, usually in the evenings, although not always, but usually in the evenings. And then to go for a coffee is to meet usually in the day, just for maybe half an hour, to have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And maybe a little snack, a little something to eat. For example, here you can see in this photo, these two men, they are drinking coffee and they have some kind of cake on the plate. So they're having a coffee and a cake. Okay. All right, let's look at some other entertainment activities. This next one is my favourite entertainment activity. I like doing this. It's just perfect for me. Okay, can you guess what it is? I'll show you. It's this, to eat out. Eat out means to eat in a restaurant or to meet friends for dinner. That's also the same as to eat out. I mean, for me, eating out with friends is a perfect evening. Why? Because I love talking to my friends and I love food, but I don't like cooking. So, to go to a restaurant and choose your food and talk to your friends and they bring you fantastic food. Oh, it's great. Okay. So here we are. You can see some friends in the photograph. They're eating lots of different things and having a drink. And they look very happy. Very, very happy. Okay. Now, this section of the lesson, I just want to talk about two verbs that we use a lot when we're talking about routine or talking about what we do at the weekend, or so it's quite useful, two verbs. So let's have a look, okay? All right, so we've got, what's the difference between to go out and to stay in? What's the difference? Well, to go out means to go to your friend's house, to go to a bar for a drink, to go out for a coffee, to go to the cinema, to go to a disco, to go to a nightclub dancing, to go anywhere outside your house for some kind of entertainment activity with, usually with friends, okay? And stay in, what's to stay in? Okay, yes, look at this picture here. So this girl, she's sitting on the sofa with a nice cup of tea, and she's just relaxing. So to stay in is the opposite of to go out. Okay, so it's kind of the opposite. So, for example, sometimes on Fridays I go out, but usually I stay in. I don't go out. Okay? All right, so now in this section of the lesson, we are going to do a listening. All right? So I just want you to listen, relax, and try and understand, okay? All right, so I'm going to talk about a little bit about my week, okay? So from Monday to Friday, I don't usually go out because I have to get up early every day. So for example, I get up usually at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I don't want to go out on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, no. On Saturdays, I sometimes go out and I like meeting friends for dinner. I love food, or meeting friends for a drink. I don't go to the cinema. I love the cinema, but I don't go to the cinema. I go, for example, about 3 times a year, and I usually watch films at home. And on Sundays, I like going hiking in the mountains. I love going hiking. I don't do any sport, really. No, nothing. I don't do any sport, but I really like walking and cycling. I don't cycle very far, but I like going cycling, for example, near the beach or just around the town or the city, and that's it. Okay. So, did you understand? Did you understand? Now I'm going to show you what I said, and I'll read it. So, in this bit, I want you to listen and listen to the pronunciation. Listen to the pronunciation. It's very, very important. I know I always say that. It's true. Okay. So, I said, from Monday to Friday, I don't usually go out because I have to get up early every day. On Saturdays, I sometimes go out. I like meeting friends for dinner. I love food. Or meeting friends for a drink. I don't go to the cinema. I go about 3 times a year. I usually watch films at home. On Sundays, I like going hiking. I don't do any sports, but I really like walking and cycling. Okay, how was that? I hope you found that useful to listen to a text and listen and focus on the pronunciation. Okay, so now we're going to focus just a little bit for the last section of the lesson. We're going to focus on the grammar. Okay, so let's have a look. Right. So you had from Monday to Friday, I don't usually go out. Notice it's present simple, negative, and we just use the present simple form of the verb, okay? Because it's a routine. We're talking about routines. And notice in green, if you look at the highlighted areas in green, I've got I like meeting friends, I like meeting, I like meeting. And then we've got I like to go hiking, I like to go hiking. And I really like walking and cycling. Okay, so notice the verb like is usually followed by ing. I like meeting, I really like walking, I like cycling. But also we have one example here of I like, excuse me, I like to go hiking. So here we have like with the infinitive. So what's the difference? What's the difference? Let's have a look. Okay, so we have like plus infinitive. Now, I like plus infinitive is I like to go for a picnic in the spring. Here we use this to talk about some kind of routine that you enjoy, okay? And in fact, there isn't a really big difference between like plus infinitive and like plus ing, but I do know that in British English, we definitely prefer using like plus ing. So the second one here, the second one, right? We definitely like saying, I like playing basketball, I like playing football. Whereas I think in American English, they use like plus infinitive a little bit more. Okay. So, So, let's have some more examples. For example, I like running in the park. I don't like playing volleyball. No. I don't like watching cricket because basically, I don't understand it. Okay, all right. Now, for the last section of the lesson, I just want you to think about how you would answer these questions. So, this section of the lesson, I want to give you the opportunity to practice all this language, but related to you, okay? Related to you. All right, so what do you like doing? What do you like doing? So I'm going to put some questions on the screen and I want you to write the answers. You can pause this video and write them, or you can write them after the lesson has finished, okay? But I think it's very important to take the content of the lesson and practice, but writing about yourself or about your friend or about your mom. Okay, really practice trying to use the vocabulary, use the constructions, and try to make your language more complex. Okay, so now I'm going to put the questions up, and I want you to write a paragraph that includes the answers to these questions. Okay. So write a short paragraph, make sure you answer these questions. What sport do you like doing? What do you usually do at the weekends? When do you go out? And what do you do when you stay in? Okay, I'll give you an example answer for me, okay? So what sport do you like doing? I don't like doing sport really, but I like walking. I love hiking and I like cycling. At the weekends, it depends. Usually on Fridays, I stay in, I don't go out. And on Saturdays, I sometimes meet friends and we go out for dinner. I love eating out. And so yeah, when do I go out? I go out, yeah, usually at the weekends. Oh, sorry. That made me jump, sorry. There's a big bang in my house. It was the door. Today, here in Barcelona, it's very windy. Okay, sorry. And last question. What do you do when you stay in? Well, when I stay in, I sometimes watch films or I watch the telly, but do you know what I really, really love? I love listening to the radio, not music, but listening to documentaries or listening to plays. I love listening to the radio. It's like so relaxing. Okay, all right. Well, now we are at the end of the lesson. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to write your paragraph, and I will see you in lesson 5. And lesson 5 is fantastic because we will have the opportunity to do a review of everything that we've done in lesson 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so thank you very much for joining the lesson. My name is Natalie with Perfectly Spoken. See you very soon. Bye.